Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Thiel, and I'm the author of Fatima Shock. Ever since my book came out in 2012, some claiming to support the Catholic faith have bashed me, my book Fatima Shock, because of the fact that I claim that the lady that appeared in Fatima was wearing a short skirt. What's interesting about this is they think that they're defending Catholicism, but the fact is that the lady that appeared in Fatima was wearing a short skirt and did not look like the traditional pictures that we tend to see in Catholic churches of Mary with the long breasts and all that type of thing. The Catholic faith should not be defended by falsehoods, and the reality is it's a falsehood to believe that what showed up at Fatima was not wearing a short skirt. Now, interestingly, in my book Fatima Shock, I quote a lot of Catholic sources, including, by the way, Fatima and Lucia's own words. Lucia, for those of you who are not familiar with Fatima, was the primary witness, the oldest of the three children who saw the apparition at Fatima. And what she said is, "We beheld a lady, all dressed in white. She radiated a light. We stopped astounded before the apparition." It was wearing white, just like that. Now, what's more interesting about this is that several members of the Catholic clergy investigated Fatima, and they asked a lot of questions to Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta, who were the only three witnesses, and this is back in 1917. Now, let me continue further here, and this is from the parish priest of Fatima, Manuel Marquis Fiata, and he wrote in 1917, "The clothing was a white mantle which fell from the head to below the skirt," that's this here, "which was golden from the waist below the strings," which you can see here. "The skirt was white and gold and fell only to the knees. No shoes. The coat was white. And around the neck there was a gold chain with a pointed medallion," which in other places was considered to be a ball. This is what was seen. Now, despite that, a lot of people have said, "Oh no, that's not possible." Well, where did I get this information? Well, this information actually comes from the Fatima Sanctuary. It comes from a document called the Interrogados de Artur de Oliveira Santos, document 53, otherwise in Portuguese, Documentação Crítica de Fatima, and again from the Fatima Sanctuary in 1992. Now, it's true that I don't read Portuguese, so how did I find this information? I had found it from other researchers, and I also hired an individual by the name of Carlos Duarte to buy a book written by Moses Espírito Santo in Portugal and to translate this into English for me to be sure that I was correct. I also consulted with others to be sure that the fact that I've claimed that what shows up at Fatima was wearing a short skirt is truly, in fact, what happened. Well, despite the facts and the truth, some have been critical of my book. They've written things on the internet, they put things on YouTube, and probably they'll get negative comments on this particular YouTube for trying to tell the truth again. But I contacted Dr. Joaquim Fernandes. He's a professor of history at the University of Fernando Pessoa in Porto. Now, I've been to Fatima, and Porto is a town pretty close to it, very, very, very close. So he's been there, he's a researcher there, he had access to the sanctuary. And I brought this up to him that I've gotten criticism for it, and here's from an email from August 23rd, 2012. Quote, "According to the original documents, the parochial inquiry conducted by priest Jose Vieira de la Serra, probably in October 1917, it was Lucia, that's the oldest of the three children, that made the description of the lady wearing a short skirt. The same description had been made yet previously to Fatima priest Manuel Ferreira Marques on August 21st, 1917. And that's the one I read earlier. The features of the celestial being was compared to another 12-year-old local child named Virginia, who measured about 1.10 meters high, which is roughly about 3.5 feet. All three children confirmed this, but it was Lucia who translated the most detailed description relating to the strange white skirt, as well as other features that priest Manuel Marques took in his important report. Several comments from Catholic clergy members, such as Canon Barthas, agreed that this strange lady was very different from any other classic Our Lady image. Although some seem to wish to rewrite history, in the original 1917 documents, we can not see any witness provide details of the lady wearing a long dress, which is how the lady is normally shown." End quote. So the reality is that what appeared there did not look like this, which is what's in the Fatima sanctuary. She was not wearing a long dress like this. Now, some have said, well, not everybody liked Fatima, and that perhaps this is from people who don't agree with it, or people back then who want to suppress it. Well, interestingly, in 1917, there was another Catholic priest investigator by the name of Canon Manuel Nunes Formaggio, and he interviewed the 3 Fatima children. And here's what he wrote. Jacinta, one of the other children, confirms Our Lady's dress only fell to the knees. Now, notice what he wrote. Our Lady obviously could not have appeared other than dressed in the utmost decency and modesty. This constitutes a serious problem, opposing the very validity of the apparition, giving rise in the spirit of the dread that this whole affair is a mystification prepared by the Prince of Darkness. Now, Canon Formaggio, interestingly, even though he said the children said that the skirt only came to the knee, and back then, by the way, not even ladies of the night were dressed this scandalously, provocatively in Portugal. Now, this may be considered acceptable dress in the 21st century, but it was not in 1917 Portugal. Well, he promoted Fatima. He believed in it, even though he knew that what happened was something appeared that wore a short skirt. Interestingly, a Portuguese researcher, Moses Espírito Santo, wrote, the fact is that at that time, a respectable lady did not wear knee-length skirts, or even a little below the knee, but down to the ankles like Lucia, Jacinta, and their mothers. From this one concludes that the vision was not Mary, Mother of Jesus, Our Lady of the Catholics. And that's true. There is no possible way that Mary would have violated the scriptures in 1 Timothy about being dressed modestly for a woman and showed up in scandalously provocative clothing for that time frame. Anyone who tells you that the lady looks like this, that appeared at Fatima, and did not appear like this, is ignoring the facts and is putting on a negative amount of lies. The reality is what appeared in Fatima looked like this. It wore a short skirt. It was not Mary of the Bible. Those of you who are actually interested in the truth, want more facts about Fatima, more facts about the details of what was seen, the credibility issues of some of the witnesses, should get the book Fatima Shock. Not only will it tell you what happened there, it will also tell you how you and your loved ones are likely to be affected because of apparitions such as Fatima in the future. I'm Dr. Bob Thiel, author of Fatima Shock, and again, I urge you, believe the facts. The facts are, in 1917, all the witnesses said what appeared in Fatima wore a short skirt. For more information, get our book, Fatima Shock, which is available at www.fatimashock.com, barnesandnoble.com, and Amazon.com.